Hey you guys, so I am here watching Snow White. It's an 8 o'clock show. Um, there's no one here. Ahoy, hoy, everyone! Welcome to another episode of the O Show. I'm O, and I'm here for your amusement. And the day has finally come, you guys. Disney's 2025 live-action remake of Snow White is finally in theaters. And yeah, so that happened. I was feeling like very nostalgic earlier, so I actually watched the original Snow White this morning. Plus the fact that I decided to keep my Disney Plus, so I need to watch as much shit as I can on there because these prices are ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, I had fun watching the original Snow White. Still a classic. It's funny watching it now as an adult. It's been a while since I've seen it, but yeah, I should talk about that movie one day because I have a lot of problems. It's still good. Don't get me wrong, but now I see it in a different light. And I have a lot of questions. But I just kind of wanted to see what was happening again and there so that when I watched this movie, I could see what was the same, what was different, what were they thinking, and yes. So, empty theater. I actually went Thursday night. The movie opens on Friday. People have been seeing this already, like early screenings. So, maybe this weekend it'll be busier, but it I think total in my theater it was only like three. There's three other people eventually before the movie was over. There was a total of like four people in my theater, me and three other people. Oh my gosh, you guys, this movie. So I had a lot to think about on my way home, and I think I have come to some conclusions. So before we talk about this mess, um, I was not planning on buying one of the Snow White popcorn buckets. I don't eat popcorn anymore at theaters. I don't know why. I don't know. It don't taste right to me. But I saw that there were multiple colors of these things, so of course I had to get my purple. Don't ask me how much this was because I'm not going to tell you because it's fucking ridiculous. But look, you guys. Ooh, it lights up. I didn't know it lights up, so I guess that was like a bonus for me. And so the popcorn goes in here. So I was super hungry in the theater. I didn't want to eat before the movie because then I was probably going to fall asleep. So I had my big drink. But on the way home, you guys, I had to stop at the new Popeyes that was built on my on my way home. So I had my Popeyes in here. There you go. I had a tack. I don't even know if you can see it. Is it too bright? Anyway, I had a tackle box. I also had a 6-piece honey barbecue wings. They're on the side somewhere. I got my fries. Oh, and I'm happy to report that this time they gave me my biscuit. The first one I went to this new Popeyes. I ordered a biscuit with all my other food, and these fools didn't give me a biscuit, so I got my biscuit, so it's in here. Okay, so look, you guys. So look, what happened? So the movie starts, right? And it has a little opening of the book, just like in the original. So I was like, okay, that's cute. Now, my final thoughts on Rachel Zegler being Snow White. I was wondering why people weren't giving crap about it, like, ooh, Little Mermaid's black, ooh, Little Mermaid's black. And then you got a person coming in as Snow White and she ain't really all that Snow White. But they do kind of address it. It's not because of like how she looks, it's because when she was born during a snowstorm. And so they were like, so we call her Snow White. I was like, okay. Now that they did that, I could just erase all the other thoughts that were probably in my head. So, bam, right? So, we have a backstory with her and her mom and dad, and the mom dies. And then one day, this lady from another land comes in, and she's just so beautiful that the I guess the king was like, well, that's gonna be your new mama. Because she's so beautiful. So he marries her. Now here's my thing. She comes in doing all these like magic tricks. So I'm like, did they make her like a sorceress? Like, is she all big and powerful? No, she just makes roses appear in her hand and then she makes it die. And ta-da! That's it. So like, what? So after the king marries her, she sends the king off and says, hey, there's like this war that's coming. Like, you need to defend the kingdom. And this fool falls for it. Like, how come he didn't hear about this war? So he goes off to war and never comes back. So now that she's in control, she robs the town folk of their riches and makes them all poor. And she takes all their jewels and stuff. And that's it. She's not queening. Which is one thing I was wondering about in the original Snow White. Like, the queen never queens. All she does is just go, who's the fairest of them all? Who's the fairest of them all? Like, what is your job in this whole kingdom? so that happens. And I don't know. They didn't say in the story, like, when did this magic mirror get moved into this castle? No one knows about this magic mirror? All right, so anyway, all jokes aside, she, of course, was like, magic mirror on the wall, who's fairest of them all? And the mirror tells her, well, it's you. And she's like, damn right it is. So I guess to make sure that does not change. And now that she's like stepdaughter, she makes Snow White dress in funky clothes and makes her a servant. And then she cuts her hair. I guess she had like long hair. And she cuts her hair. So that's how her hair gets really short. So blah, blah, blah happens. And then we eventually meet this guy who's like this bandit, right? So bandits are a big thing in this movie. So we later learned that his name is Jonathan. So I'm just going to get that out the way. So we see Jonathan. He's stealing from the palace. And Snow White's like, what the hell are you doing? And anyway, he gets caught. He gets kind of like tied up to this gate in front of the palace. And Snow White frees him. And the queen's like, oh, you bitch. Like, you are betraying me. And okay. So, yeah. So then we get this song by Snow White. It's okay. Okay, now here's my thing. Now, Rachel Zegler is a really good singer. Okay? So I'm going to give her that. And I was not mad at her with her acting through this movie. So then she sings a song. I forgot what it was called. Something about a wish. And it was okay. Like, I liked it. But what I was hoping for was like more songs from the original movie. So there's a whole bunch of like new original songs in this movie. And when I okay, there's an opening song. And I was like, okay, I'm sure it's going to be an opening song. And then she sings this song. And I'm like, oh no, is it all going to be like new original music? I'll tell you one thing, it's better than that damn stuff from the Lion King movie that just came out not that long ago. You know, one thing I was wondering about? So, Snow White's been in this castle forever, right? Like, she grew up in the castle under the queen. And then also one day the mirror decides to say that she's the fairest. So, like, did the mirror wait for her to become, like, of age so that he's not, like, a pedophile? Being like, you know, that 12-year-old girl that walks around this castle, she's the fairest, you know? Because all of a sudden, one day, he's all, Snow White's the fairest of them all. And then the queen's like, God damn it. So, plays out just like in the original. So she gets her huntsman. And she says, hey, take her out into the woods and let her pick whatever, but then kill her ass. Here, take this box. And then I need you to bring her heart back, right? Okay, so we do. Now, here's my thing. I just want to get this out of there. This is something I used to watch Snow White as a kid. And one thing I never understood is why this girl will be like clean the floor, put into clothes like purposely, like wear these funky clothes, right? But like in the first movie, she goes out to pick flowers. And she puts this like beautiful gown on to go pick flowers. And no, same thing happened in this movie. So we see that she's told to like wear ugly clothes. But then the queen is like, well, go pick apples. So everything's apples in this movie. So she goes out to pick apples. And of course now she's wearing her beautiful outfit. I always used to wonder, like, why wouldn't she just be wearing like some rags or another outfit? Don't get me wrong. She doesn't have to be wearing a rag. She can wear like something else. But then, like, after she meets the dwarves, we could have like Happy, because I'm pretty sure Happy is happy.
How you doing?
So, like, why can't we get like Happy to like say, "Hey, princess, look, I sew. You know, that's my thing I do in this house. I made all these bastards' clothes up in here." You know, and then he goes, "Hey, I got this dress for you," and then you know that's the dress that she wears and she dies in and whatever. So, so it's just so weird that she puts this outfit on to pick some apples. And so what? You're gonna go home and have to change back into your rags? No one remembers you. They even say like everyone started to forget there even was a princess. So who you try to impress out in these streets in this dress? I'm serious. So after she runs away, the husband's like, get out of here, run away. So she runs to the creepy forest. Okay, that's kind of cool, whatever. And then she falls into this river or a lake. No, it's a river. And so she comes out of the river and she gets to this land. She's still in the woods. And then this deer comes out and then all the other animals comes out. And then that's when they point her towards the little cottage where the dwarves live. But there's this part where Snow White reaches into like a pocket. Apparently this dress has pockets. And she pulls out a piece of bread and gives it to the deer. Now, my question is, your ass just came out the river. You're soaking wet. But this piece of bread in your pocket is dry. Oh, also, her dad gives her a necklace. He's like, wear this necklace. I'll be back. Blah, blah, blah. Before the dad leaves, right? So she's wearing the necklace. Now, when she comes out of the river and discovers the cottage of the dwarves, there's no necklace around her neck. So I don't know if that was like an editing error. You don't see her like take it off. You don't see her put it back on because, of course, a few scenes later, the necklace appears. But when she comes out of the river, it's gone. So I'm pretty sure I didn't miss anything. If you saw Snow White, did you notice the necklace was gone after the whole river scene? Because later it comes back when Jonathan snatches it off her neck. But that's coming up soon. But I just want to throw that out there. Please let me know in the comments below, because I'm pretty sure I'm not crazy, because you can't miss it. She has like that outfit. Her chest is just open. So you will see if there's a necklace there or not. All right, hold on, you guys. All right, y'all. So now we meet the dwarves, okay? Now, I was being open-minded about these dwarves because I've seen the trailer and you've seen things on the internet and people are like, oh my gosh, because there was the whole thing of, I don't know, there was this picture that they showed and people are like, are those the dwarves? Okay, now hold that thought, right? I'm going to talk about this picture. But people are like, are those the dwarves? Like, what the hell is that? Then there was this whole thing about like, actual like, okay, they're not dwarves. What are they, little people? Is that what they're called now? They are, because those are shows on TLC called like The Little People Atlanta and stuff like that, right? So anyway, don't cancel me. I don't know what they're called right now. But I had famous actors who were like, well, cast me. Like, I'm small. I could be a dwarf in the movie. So I'm kind of, after watching the movie, glad they didn't do that. So I'm not going to be mad at Disney for not hiring people to play the dwarves. However, they are creepy as hell, okay? But at the same time, they started to grow on me. And the more that I watched the movie, the more I was like, you know what? I don't mind it. I don't mind the dwarves. Fine. It is what it is. I did have a problem with a couple people. I think Grumpy they did a really good job. Doc, they did a really good job. I don't know. Happy was kind of off to me. Sneezy was annoying. They made Sleepy, is it narcoleptic? Is that the word? The people that fall asleep? Like me. But, he just kind of passes out here and there. My problem with one of them is Bashful. Now, I'm listening to the voice of Bashful, right? And I had no idea who else was in this movie, like if they even got famous people to do the dwarves. But there was a voice, and I know that voice. I love this actor, and I'm like, holy crap, I know who that is. So I actually did wait to the credits at the end to see that yes, I was right. Bashful is played by Titus Burgess, right? So number one, his voice and this character does not match because you have all these other like old men, and then there's this guy talking, and Titus's voice does not really work well with an old man. And Bashful was not bashful enough. Like in the movie, this guy is like hiding his face in his beard, and half the time he can't even finish his sentence because he's so bashful. In this movie, he just says stuff. Once in a while, you'll see him kind of fidget like, that's it. He's in the background just doing that. So I feel like Bashful wasn't bashful enough. If I didn't know that was Bashful, I would be like, who is that dwarf? Like, did he just walk in off the street? Who is that? It was weird. Okay, Dopey, you guys. Dopey was kind of creepy at first when you see him because, like, the camera's just all up in his face. But same thing, but as the movie kept going on, I swear, Dopey got cute to me. he was adorable. Okay, now if I go to the store and I see a little like Dopey doll, like I'm buying it. Dopey was cute. However, I'm super pissed at what they did to Dopey at the end of this movie, so I will get to that. So they do kind of explain that they're like 274 years old. So and Snow White's like, oh, my dad or somebody told her that this forest is magical, blah, blah, blah. So I guess they kind of give us like why these dwarfs are dwarfs in the movie. So I do appreciate when they do these live actions that someone took the time to just kind of explain more things. So I will give you that, movie. You are welcome. A couple of changes that they do is when she gets to the cottage, at first, she does it clean like Snow White does with the animals, puts food on the stove or the fire, and whatever, right? In this movie, she goes into their house with the animals, and then they lead her upstairs into the bed, and she goes to sleep. So then the dwarves come, they find her, and they introduce themselves, and blah, blah, blah. It's funny, the whole movie, Grumpy's like, you need to fucking leave. Like, get out of here. I do like Grumpy. Grumpy has some funny lines. But, so later on, like, she teaches Dopey to whistle, and then later on, she makes them clean their own house while they're singing the Whistle While You Work. So I'm glad that happened, because when she walked in, I was like, is she really going to sing this song with the animals? So I will give them that. I do not want to see this girl singing to these fake animals who aren't there. The whole Whistle While You Work. So it was cute. She's all talking to Dopey like, do you not talk? He's like, no. Like, he's shaking his head. He doesn't say anything. And but she does teach him to whistle. Okay, so that was cute. So that song is in this movie, thank God. But it's just in a different place. So this is where the movie kind of gets weird. So she's talking to the dwarves, and she starts talking about her father, right? So they bring back up about the bandits in the woods, and she's like, well, I want to meet the bandits because maybe they can help me find my father since they're like loyal to the king. So she goes out looking, and then she runs into the Jonathan guy again. And then we find out that Jonathan is like the head bandit of like a group of merry men and women. So then it turns out that picture that we all thought were the dwarves, when did they release that picture? Because they tricked us all. But those people in this picture, these are the bandits in the movie. So they had nothing to do with the dwarves, even though there's a dwarf like in the group or a little person. Okay. Or were there two little people in that group? Well, there's definitely one. He has like this like hard on for like crossbows. So weird. So anyway, we meet his group, and then the queen sends her guards out to find Snow White because she found out that Snow White is still alive because the mayor is like, you ain't the fairest still, Snow White still lives. And then she threw the huntsman in the basement or the dungeon. So Jonathan ends up getting hit with an arrow, right? And he gets shot with an arrow. Or was it here? No, it was over here. And Snow White ends up taking him back to the dwarves, and she's like, "Doc, you gotta help him." And the Doc's like, "Well, my name is Doc, but not like a doctor." So I don't know what the hell he does behind closed doors, but he came out saying that he did this and this and this, totally thinking that Jonathan died. But he did. He came out. He's like, "Oh, geez, what the hell happened?" So then they have their party, and the song that they sing after celebrating that Jonathan is alive is, what's the name of that song? I don't remember the name of it, but it's the famous song where the dwarfs are singing and playing music and Snow White dances. That little scene that's been like recycled for a whole bunch of Disney movies. So they sing that song. So whatever, it's cute. So Snow White gives her necklace to Jonathan, and then Jonathan like ends up getting caught and taken to the queen. And the queen sees that he has the necklace, and then she snatches it off his neck. But like, how is this necklace still working? Because you know when you snatch a necklace off someone's neck, like you're breaking the thing, the hook thing in the back. This thing's been snatched off her neck 3 times. He did it in the beginning. Then he did it again, right? No, she did it when she was going to give it to him. She snatches it off. Like, what is wrong with people with just not going back here and unhooking the necklace? So then the queen comes and snatches the thing off. I was like, if one more person puts that necklace on, they're not fixing it. So she throws Jonathan in the dungeon with the huntsman, because apparently they only have like one cell or something, because they're tied up. They're chained up next to each other. It's so weird. So now this is when the queen is like, oh, okay, you know what, I'll just do it myself. So I'm going to go to the cottage and I'm going to disguise myself as this old lady. Now I was waiting for this old lady, right? I mean, if you're already going to do all this CGI, like how crazy looking are they going to make this lady? Yeah, I wasn't happy with the end result. She's still not a sorceress or anything. She still has to make a potion. Which I feel like she had like 4 or 5 ingredients in the first movie. In this movie, she just mixes like 2 things and goes, ha, 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 and drinks it. She transforms herself into this old lady, and she just looks like, I don't know. I'm not trying to be mean, but like, I feel like I've seen this old lady walking down the street. She just looks like an old lady. She's not creepy. I thought her eyes were going to be like big as hell. I was waiting for her nose to be like, no, it's just, okay. So, so she goes, and of course she dipped an apple in a cauldron already full of poison. She didn't even make the this movie is so lazy. So anyway, she just drips this apple to the water, and it's now it's poison. So anyway, she finds Snow White. Snow White is there. Okay, now pause, because here's another issue I kept having in this movie. Maybe I'm just thinking too much about it, but when you hear me out. So remember, Snow White is wearing her famous Snow White outfit, right? It is now at least 3 days later. In the original cartoon, we're working with like 2 days, right? The day she left the castle to run away, she spent the night at the dwarf's place. The next day, the dwarfs went off to go to work. And then that's when the queen shows up and kills Snow White. So it's like 2 days. In this movie, she is wearing this thing for like 3 days. You fell into the river. You never took it off to dry. I guess all this walking she did, she dried off magically when she reached the dwarf's house. It's the next day, but then there's another next day, and she's still wearing this outfit. Why is she wearing this outfit? What does Snow White smell like? You may be the fairest, but are you the stinkiest in the land? Because I just couldn't help but notice that she's just in this. Ugh. Okay, anyway, let's blah blah blah. So the old lady comes, she gives her the apple, Snow White eats it, she falls, the animals rush to the dwarves who are at work, and then they all rush back, and of course they get there, it's too late. Now, instead of like a glass tomb that they do in the cartoon, they just lay her body on this weird hill thing, and they kind of build a cute thing like over it. But she's not in a tomb. She's just exposed to the elements. Okay, she's just dead outside. So then we cut back to Jonathan and the huntsman, and I swear either Jonathan or the huntsman said like, you because I guess Jonathan's just been tugging at this chain, and someone said like, you've been doing that for like a few days. How many days has it been? Because if Snow White's not dead because it is the sleeping death, right? The sleeping death. She's asleep, so I guess she's not dead. But it just feels weird that she's just outside. And they said he's been doing this for a couple of days. So a few days have gone by. There are no like snakes or bugs coming at her body. I don't know. Okay, maybe I'm overthinking that. But these dwarves didn't like cover her from the elements. That's what I'm saying. What if it rained one day? Then she's gonna look ugly. So they break free. They escape. Jonathan finds her body, and of course, just goes and kisses. Now, he doesn't just kiss her because when he came back to life, well, he didn't die, but when they thought he died, and they all were celebrating and stuff, they sang a song, and then they almost kiss. So there is that love happening there, right? So him finding the body and then kissing it is a little better than the original with this prince who just kisses her, right? So she comes back to life. And I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure there's going to be like more to the story. So there is. She doesn't just get picked up and whisked away like in the first movie, because this guy ain't a prince. Jonathan's a bandit. And speaking of the bandits, I don't even think we needed these bandits in this movie because most of them don't even do anything. I think only maybe 2 had lines. Like at one point, Snow White's talking to one going, ooh, you like this one over here? She's talking to a guy. He's looking at this girl that's part of the bandits. But that doesn't go nowhere. So, and the only one that really, really has lines is the short one. I guess his name is Quick, the one that loves the crossbows. So I don't know why we even needed a band of bandits. How come Jonathan just couldn't work alone and just be like, I'm the Robin Hood of the forest or something, since you're not going to make him a prince. Or he could have been abandoned, and then at the end of the movie, we find out he is a prince. I don't know. It's weird. So anyway, Snow White's like, okay, well, now that I'm alive, I found out my father's actually dead because the queen admitted it. And now I want revenge. So she seeks revenge, okay? So she dresses up like Little Red Riding Hood all of a sudden. So she has this red thing on. She walks back to the kingdom, and then the people see her. They're like, and so they all like get behind her and sing along. And then the queen sees that she's still alive. So the queen comes down. And so I guess, Snow White has to prove a point to be like, look, all you care about is your beauty. You don't care about the people. We used to know each other. We used to dance and sing and do this other stuff. She starts calling out the guards' names. And the guys are like, oh my God, that's right. My name is this, right? First of all, this guy, Paul, like, the mirror should have been like, there's the fairest guy in the land. His name is Paul. Okay. I don't know who this actor is. I'm about to look him up because he's super like adorable. But look, what had happened was the queen does this thing. Again, these like stupid magic tricks. She does the thing with the rose, like, ooh, I can create a rose. So she creates a rose and makes it fade away. But then she turns Elsa and creates this like glass dagger. And she's like, well, here's Snow White. Like, well, then kill me then if you want the dang kingdom back. But of course, Snow White doesn't. And one of the dwarfs, well, not the dwarfs, no. Who was it? It was that one bandit guy. He finally got a crossbow because this whole time he's like, I'm the Lord of the Crossbows, but he's using everything but a crossbow. So I guess that was the joke. It was funny the first time, but she got his hands on a crossbow inside the castle. So he knocks this thing out her hand and it shrivels away or whatever. But like now the queen's like, oh my God, everyone's turning on me. So she runs to the cellar where her mirror is at. And the mirror's like, yeah, you're still not the fairest bitch. So she breaks the mirror. And when she breaks the mirror, her body turns to like this ash. and then all the ash stuff like flies into the mirror, and the mirror reassembles itself, and she's dead. Now, who the fuck wrote that? Now, if you're gonna do an ending, what was wrong with the witch? Like, well, she's not a witch, but what happened to the queen falling off a cliff? What was wrong with that? I think what should have happened was Snow White did her little name thing, and she got all the guards to turn against the queen, like what happened in the movie. And then I feel like the queen should be like, ah! And then maybe she still had some potion in her, and then her body kept like shriveling to like an old lady. Like, I don't know. Maybe, she's not, the potion didn't wear off, right? Now that she's scared, maybe she's kind of turning old, and she's like, ooh, I'm weakening. And then the town folk could have like literally run her out of town, chased her, had the guards like chasing her with their swords and things, and then maybe she gets cornered at a cliff. And she's like, no! And then, I don't know. Then the guy with the crossbow could have hit something, maybe like a tree. Maybe he would have hit a... Well, that's stupid. But hear me out though. So something happens, and then the boulder like falls off of something, or like maybe the dwarves who are there, the dwarves are at the castle. Maybe they could have did the thing like they do in the cartoon. They were like, "There's a boulder. Let's get her with the boulder." Then the boulder. Anyway, we could have got her to a cliff and killed her that way. Just kill her. Why did she turn to dust when she kills the mirror? Because now I feel like. Was she a real person? Was she the mirror? Was she talking to herself this whole time? Was the mirror like, you're the fairest? Because it was really her talking. I don't understand what's happening. All right, y'all. So that was I eating this food through this whole video? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But look, that was Snow White. Something was wrong with the lighting too. I saw this on IMAX, and there were parts where it was like beautiful, and there was some parts I'm like, why is it so foggy or something? I don't know. Something was just off with the colors. I needed it to be like more bright or something. I don't know, but anyway, I liked that they just did not just rewrite something that wasn't broken. They added some things here and there. Some things did not need to be there. But acting wise, it was fine. Although, I don't know. I think all the attention was on like people hating Rachel Zegler. But I do have to say, like, Gal Gadot, like, she looked like a drag queen. At one point she had like lipstick that was all like glitter and stuff, like girls wore from Claire's. Like, out of her, I was super getting like RuPaul's Drag Race. She had these weird outfits that were all like weird and tight something, and at one point she snapped her fingers at her guards, but they don't show her snap the finger. You see her hand do this, and then it cuts away, and you hear the snap. I'm like, she didn't do that with those nails. I don't know. I call bullshit on the snap. Did she sing her songs? Now, she had one song. I didn't care for the lyrics, but her voice sounded good at the end when she was hitting these notes. And I'm like, now if she can sing, she's a really good singer. I don't remember her ever singing in anything else. So I'm wondering if she wasn't doing all of it. Maybe she was doing most of it, and like those high notes were someone else. Like, okay, whatever, don't judge. But she had this other song too. That was dumb. Anyway, I feel like the acting was good. The acting was fun. Things were fun. Like I said, if you just kind of, you have to get past the creepiness of the dwarves at first, but then as you watch it, you're like, okay, I get the vision that Disney was doing with the dwarves. And speaking of the dwarves, they make Dopey talk at the end. And then he doesn't shut up. If he said like one sentence, I could be like, oh. But no, at the end of the movie, he's like narrating, like, shut up. Just Let's go back to being Dobby. So they didn't need to do that. Now you're just doing too much. Yeah. So, did we need a remake of this movie? No. You could have just kept Snow White alone. So if I have to rate Snow White, oh snap. I think I'm gonna give Snow White 2 out of 5 shots, you guys. I'm gonna give it 1 because they tried, and I'm gonna give it 2. I would give it 1, but you know what? I ate a Popeye's biscuit, and you know you can't just eat a biscuit without drinking, right? I haven't drank anything in this whole review, so I'm gonna give it 2 shots. I'm gonna drink these 3 because my mouth is parched from that Popeye's biscuit. Please let me know in the comments if you've seen Snow White. If you've seen it, what were your thoughts? I'm really curious. It's the story. If the story wasn't crazy, I would have liked it more. But they did a little too much. You could have just held back and just tell the damn story. Oh my God. Also, I'm also kind of curious if I don't remember the original Snow White story. If anything from there might have got slipped into this. Were there bandits in the original Snow White before Disney bought the rights? I don't know. Let me know. Do you know? I got to burp. I got to burp and drink. That's not a good combination. Oh, okay. Oh my God. Okay, I bust. All right, you guys. So, yeah, that was my review. All right, I'm gonna stop talking. So, hey, please like this video, subscribe. Oh, look, you guys, this thing, wee, it rolls. I'm gonna use this for all my meals for at least a week. I'm gonna put all my food in here. I'm gonna make some spaghetti, and this is gonna be my spaghetti bowl. Okay, guys, please like this. Oh, wait. Where am I? Okay, please like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you all in the next episode. So until then, TTFN. Oh, by the way, you guys. The theater gave me this, so it looks like an apple, right? On the back, you peel this. It's a sticky thing. But on the front, there are these suction cups all around the front, right? So I was like, what the hell is this? So then, they don't tell me. I don't even think it says it on here. No, it doesn't say. Okay, so look. I went to the IMAX room, and then my theater also had another showing in a different room. And it was some kind of event. And they said, dress up as your favorite villain to watch the movie there. And then they will give you this, which, according to the website, you're supposed to stick your phone. Okay, so you peel the back, and then you put this on something. And then these suctions, you're supposed to stick your phone to it. And then you can have your own... You can have your own magic mirror. What? Okay, I'm pretty sure everyone's phone is going to eventually unstick from this thing and fall to the floor, and y'all going to have a whole bunch of lawsuits on your hand. So yeah, you're supposed to take this, stick it somewhere, stick your phone to it, and then it's like your own magic mirror.